Good early morning, good peoples. This is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm here with you for Group C. Group C estimates. They declare this coming Wednesday, which would be August 22. Is that right? 18? No, August 20. Oh, that's not the right place to put it, Bruce. Okay, I must have it over here. Yep. Well, that's not. Okay. 820, 822. Whoops. 822 and 821. All right. So these, just in case somebody doesn't know, these are always Wednesday through Friday, these groups, Group A, B, C, and D, right? So this week for Group C, they declare on Wednesday the 20th, ex-dividends 21, and they pay you 822. Sorry about that, guys. So let's jump over here and get into these. All right. So let's leave this kind of covered for the moment and work our way through. I'll leave the yield out there, but I'll let you guys guess on the rest. So Cony. Oh boy, am I glad I'm in COYY. And if I wasn't, I'd be in COIW because Cony sucks, and that's being nice. Let's see which one. All right, guys. They lost money every which way, right? They lost money in their weeklies, a lot. Look at their synthetic, not closed book value. So sometimes you got a bunch of money over here, you get paid. Well, then the third choice becomes the IV, right? Then you're really hurting because you're depending on the IV. So on the current booked value, not booked value, but you can call it book value, not booked value, right? On paper, the book value is a loss of 1.39. No big deal. It's like they didn't lose anything, they didn't gain anything, but it's closer to a penny. All right. So they actually have two sets, right? They have a 321 call and put synthetic that expires 9/19, and then they went out to 10/17 with a larger amount of contracts. Look at that. 30 and 29.70. So they got 870,000, but when you look at the share count of 18,695,000, doesn't even round to a penny in the positive. So nothing, right? So let's go to the IV. And what do we have? We have around 64%. Okay. So let's work up a number. I worked up a number that yields 67%. Let's see what it is. If I was in it, I'd be upset. But then again, that's why I'm not. 38 cents, guys. Look at that. They haven't paid that low. 79, 53, 73, 65, 43, 59. Let's hope I'm wrong for you guys that own it. Dollar, 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 right? But what did it do week to week? Well, it did go up. Wait, where's my August? No, it went down. Oh my God. Is that? Yeah. Down 26%, guys. So that's the brutal truth of why nothing's working for this fund at the time. But I don't think you're going to see that in Koi. And, the issue a little bit with the other funds, right, is the granite is how much NAV might you lose? But they're going to pay. And COIW is probably the best of all of them. I just happened to have some COYY and decided not even to go into coin when I sold my Cony because I knew it was coming down and I didn't want to put the money in any fund at that time. It's only lately I've been nibbling on Koi. All right, Fiat. What do we got here, people? Well, Fiat is an inverse fund if you didn't know. Most of you know, right? On Cony. They always match the two in a pair, right? So if you're in a group and you have an inverse, then you will have the pro or the bull fund, right? 20 cents. What's that a yield? I've got it going up, guys, but look, it it earned money. It went up 11%. It went from 298 to 331. So all that is positive. Could I be pushing it a little bit? Maybe, but look, it's paid 92, 56, 26, went down to 15, went down to 13. But that's because it was declining. So let's see. I might be a penny or two over. Microsoft E. All right, let's see what we have from Microsoft E. All right, so what do I have over? Oh, sorry, guys, I'm pulling up the sheet, but I'm not showing it to you. So my bad on that. This was the one for Cony, guys. I was talking to it and I didn't have it over here. Apologize. So even though I've told you the thing, this is all the data that shows on one of their synthetics. They've lost a penny. The other, they've earned a portion of a penny, but it doesn't even round to a penny. And they lost on their weeklies. So they're really paying that one true ROC and they're paying close to the IV. That's my guess. All right. So I can move this one back over here. This one is Microsoft. Well, they're 75 cents ahead on their book value. They didn't make much from what I can see on the weeklies. So I went conservative on this one. And I have, you can see here, I want 27% yield, which is 3% higher than what their real yield is. What 38 cents. So yeah, I dropped them down. They were close. Look at this current price 18.10 versus 18.11. So I dropped them 3 cents. Beats the 33 they paid a while ago. We shall see. AMD. Let's see what you got. All right. I need to show you this stuff, guys. Not as good as I thought it would be. All right. I have a booked value on this, right? Not booked, but book value. So paper value is currently $1.18 in their synthetic. It's a 919 155 call and put to create the synthetic 11,185 contract. Currently worth $1.18 based on the 21 million outstanding shares of AMD because it's worth 26 million. All right. Let's go back and look at some more stats to work with. We have, boy, I moved these columns around, it confuses me. All right, so here's AMD. So a month ago in July, it was 865 on the actual declaration date, right? I do it once on the weekend like this one is, and then I move it to the declaration that closed before the declaration so it matches what YIELDmax calls their yield, right? Yield on cost. So 904, it went up 4.51, right? Fiat had gone up the most. Cony by far went down the most. So with that being said, how much did I say they're going to make? Well, let's take a look. 58 cents. I only gave them a little bit more. Their synthetic wasn't, or sorry, their gains weren't that great. They gained a little bit. No, actually, I take it back. They lost a tiny bit. So that's why on their weekly. All right, let's look at Neflicky. Neflicky. All right, what do we have? We have slight 6.69%. It went from 1748 to 1760. I am got them paying a 31 cent. I did do their, let me get their Netflicky, where are you? I did it, but I did not leave it out here easily. I got Peep, I got Carvana, and I got Hoie in here. They left to show you. So I'm not showing that one. All right, what did I do on this one? Well, I went above their IV. I think I went high 30s. I might be 40 or 39. Let's take a look. 42. Dropped them just a hair. Okay, let's take a look at ABNY. Well, they were down from 1180. Well, sorry, they were down from 1211 to 1050. So they were down 13%. They did not have a particularly great month. Let's jump in here and see. I got them at 35. So it beat this, but didn't beat this. Most of these are in the 30s. There's a 60 cent, 50, 40, 40. Yeah, so they paid 35. Like, I think that's a drop. Okay, let's go Peep. Got a sheet for you on Peep. Peep did not, when you don't have book value on your synthetic, right? Or, and a paper value increase. It's ugly, 91-cent active loss. I mean, the 75 put is 613. The call is 69 cents. So that's $5.50. Now they only have 5 million shares. 5.3 million to be exact. 5,300,000. So this 4.8 loss is a 91-cent loss. So they're going to pay closer to their yield. Let me see in my notes if I have their weekly. Nah, I don't have much. I think I've got them around 25 to 23 cents. Let's go take a look, people. Yeah, I think I went below the 27 pretty considerably. So, 25, not that considerably. But I dropped them. I mean, they didn't do well. Yeah, look at their IV had been 41, so it considerably dropped them. Carvana, this is a good story, people. Carvana. What did Carvana do? Well, a couple of things. Let's get their spreadsheet. You wouldn't know it from this, would you? 43, the put is 16. So that means something took off and came back hard. But that's 321. So it lost $3.21 per share. Very light, 1,850,000. Not a popular fund. Okay. However, what did they make on their weeklies? It was big. They made about $12 a share. So when you take away the 321 paper loss there, they're close to $9 in profit. Now they're not going to pay $9. They're not going to pay $5. They're not going to pay $4. But they are going to pay a lot more than 2 and 1.7. And look at what they've paid in the past. Let's see, what did they do over here on paper? July to August, they went down 3. But they were making the money. That's part of that pullback, and that's why that book value is down on the thing. So I had them at 3 something. Let's take a look. Low threes. 312, 310. Okay. Got you at 310, Carvana. They could only go 290s or something, but it's going to be a big payment. So who's winning in yield right now? Well, AMD at 83, Fiat at 80, and 96 on Carvana. We only got one other real big contestant, and that would be Hoie. DraftKings is going to pay for the first time. I know I should move these since they're monthly up into the monthlies, right? They are color coded to match. I just need to I just need to do it. All right, Ulti. You guys care about Ulti. I know that. Let me do DraftKings for you. I'm going to save Hoie. All right, DraftKings. What on earth are they going to do? Well, they're making money. They made money all the way around. So good showing for them. They went from 50-42 last week. Okay, now this isn't a full month. Even though it's a monthly, it's only, I just use 1 week. I guess I could have done a lot longer. Went up 4.5% in 1 week. All right, let's get to it, Bruce. What do you have them paying? It's a first payment, guys. No history. $2.79 or a 71.94% yield. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of them fairly quickly, and then I'll focus on Hoie for you guys. All right, this one. Everybody likes, shouldn't say everybody. It's just a very popular font. Everybody doesn't love it. There's always been some haters, and especially those that like Tesla, that got in early and it just kept declining, and they said enough is enough, and they quit. And it gets down and it kind of bases. Well, guess what it did this week from last week? Starting to trend down a little bit. Now, again, that's all. I'm going to do a video on what I think on the markets. And in that, I'm going to give you some deciding factors that are coming up that are going to tip the market. Okay, we haven't quite broken out to the upside. We go up, we hit resistance on the indexes, on the Qs, on the spider, and we come back down. We now had a close below that resistance line. Okay, we had a couple, then we went up and hit it, and we came back down. So if on Monday we close below the line, again, that's one of the first, you need a 2-day confirmation, and then that's nothing because it still is close enough it can run on above it. But if we start trending down, the only thing that's coming that can turn that around, in my opinion, would be NVIDIA's earnings. As NVIDIA goes, the tech market goes. So NVIDIA is not till the 27th. I think they report after the market closes on the 27th. Now, this is no, a black swan could change this. Some fantastic good news or something could change this. But otherwise, it's looking toppy. My gut on the markets, for those that care, I think we either pull back in August, which is what my original thought was 2 or 3 months ago, or the months that have had the most pullbacks in history, August and September. Now, you have other pullbacks in other months, but those are the dangerous months. But I have a feeling we top out in August. Let's see. If we don't, hooray. Better for all of us, right? I'm not anti-market. I'm just telling you what I see. So I'll be watching those signals very close. All right. So Ulti, could you just tell us? Yeah, I could go in and tell you they got a bunch of high IV stocks and I could show it. I don't think they paid 10 cents. I just don't think this week it happened. Not given the markets, not given some of the holdings that I looked at. They added the BMNR, real popular one. But otherwise, they got a lot of high V stuff. So I think 9 cents, guys, 9.1. I own some, so I do care. But I care anyhow. All right, here we go. 18 on YMAX, or YMAX, 20 cents on YMAG. Let's do all the giddies, except let's do giddy up. Let's do R Diddy. Oh, they're not in order. I can't do it that way. All right, let's do R Diddy and Leffigy. 30.05, which is not. Look at, they paid 39 cents last week. 20, 35. Boy, they're all over the map. I could be low on that. All right. 46. These guys went down. They went down 9%. Okay. R Diddy went down 2%. So I do factor in those things as well. Let's take Caputi. It's going to be in the 30-cent range. Almost always is. 32, 31, 28, 29. I got 31 and a half. All right, S Diddy and Q Diddy, since we've already done R Diddy. You bet, Diddy. I got 20 cents coming up on the spiders and up a little bit here. Both these are up slightly, right? I like that. Okay, Chippy and then Hoie, the big winner, I think. All right. 37.5. I don't have a big change, do I, in Chippy? All right, guys, let's take a look at the sheet. Let's see what Hoie made. Hoie made some bank. Well, first off, again, this isn't closed money. It's just the current book value. $6.29. Yeah, take that. 20.586 million, and they have 3,275,000 shares. So sweet. All right. What else though? Because on that alone, you know what I would say the payment would be if they had no other earning? $3. High twos, $3. What would that look like for Hoie? They've done that before. There's a $3. They had a 653 and a 680. But I need to tell you what they did on their weekly. $7+ guys. I think it was 712, 729 when I looked at the numbers. I got a spreadsheet that formulates that I feed it all the dailies, and then it runs all its machinations on that to give me the numbers. So $7 in the weekly. So between that, now we can take that 50%, right? 6 and 7 is 13. Probably should be around 650. Did I give it that? I think I went slightly below that. Because I'll tell you why I went slightly below that. 611. Because they actually went down here, right? It went down $1. And when they last paid the big 689, they were at 72, up from 65. So the fact that we're back at 7.1, I just don't think they're going to pay this high or potentially this high. Could be wrong by 5, 10. Again, it's a guess. Would I say absolutely it's going to be $5? Could it be 7? Probably not, right? So it's 550 to 650 range. So I'm going with 611, guys. All right, 109. So that is your winner. All right, I'm going to let you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. This is Bruce from Targeted Wealth Creation. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Check in on my stuff. Hit me up on Patreon. That's going really, really good. I'm creating content for that. I made another video over there for just my Patreon. If you want to know my Patreon, look on my channel. It's on there. I'm not going to interrupt your time here with that. All right, bye. Have a great one ahead. Bye for now.